What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Making Podcasts Great Again. I am your tech stuff guy, Jay Nog, and we are here, of course, with the President of the United States of Mar-a-Lago of America, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, how are you today?
Hold on. Never interrupt me when I'm sending a truth.
That's right.
Okay. So how about the wreck on Ivanka? Like and share if you agree. And truth. Okay, where were we? Tech stuff. New tech stuff guy. Hello, we got a new tech stuff guy.
Yeah, we're just starting the show. I asked you how you were doing and how's your day going, and just started.
As a strong supporter of Italian Americans, I don't like you saying the word dego.
I said day going. How's your day going?
Oh, so if I said N-wording, all of a sudden, if I turn it into a verb, you can say, "Oh, no, I wasn't saying racism, sir. I was saying it in a verb."
Those are two different words. Day, the day, and then space going.
I don't know how it's written because I don't do racial slurs. Tech stuff. I'm the least racist person you've ever met. You're obviously not the least racist person I've ever met. Very nasty to our Italian American people. That's what we're doing. We're very woke. We're very woke. We're very pro people of color. But when you're a strong Italian American, you can have tech stuff people saying day going. Title.
Oh, Mr. President, I wanted to get to a huge piece of news. Everyone's talking about it. Social media is blowing up about it. Everyone has an opinion about it because everyone's got an opinion about everything these days. Brittney Griner traded with the arms dealer Victor Boot, even exchange, no draft picks, no money, even exchange. Brittney Griner back to play for the WNBA. I'm feeling comeback player of the year. I don't know why. I just feel that. And we gave them an arms dealer, Victor Boot. What do you think about that trade?
Well, first of all, once again, we don't have a president with strong brand skills.
Right.
He may be brand in, but he doesn't have branding skills. Because the first thing that should happen when her plane landed in America, you get Britney Spears there saying, "It's Britney, bitch." And no, we had no music. We had no entertainment. We had no branding whatsoever. It's Britney, bitch. Even I knew that. And I'm not a huge Britney Spears fan. I mean, ever since she turned 30, she sort of went south. But boy, was she. Let me tell you something. You should have seen Jeffrey Epstein. I thought Jeffrey Epstein, who passed away, he was not murdered, obviously. When Britney Spears came out, Jeffrey Epstein actually said to me, "Pinch me," because I think I'm either dreaming or I'm dead. Because this is all I've ever wanted: a 16-year-old hottie that everybody thinks it's okay to want. He invited her so many times to the island when she was in the Mickey Mouse Club, and then she got a little older, and even at 16, everybody wanted her, and it was very socially acceptable. It was truth socially acceptable, and so we respect Britney Spears. But no, they should have said it's Britney bitch when she landed. But do I like the trade? I don't like the trade, obviously. And everybody talks about Paul Whelan, who's the other person, a strong American white guy that we have in a Russian prison, and they wanted to trade Putin, who I'm very good friends with, great mutual respect. He's on Truth Social, by the way. And I said no. I said no, Victor.
Wait, so you had the opportunity.
Excuse me, Vladimir.
So you had the opportunity to get a Marine back for Victor Boot, but instead we got a WNBA player back for Victor Boot. Why didn't you make the trade?
Because Victor Boot, Bell Victor Boot, was a very nasty guy, very tough. Okay, and probably one of the strongest Second Amendment people you've ever seen. I mean, they call him the Merchant of Death. So this guy is Second Amendment to the top. But he abused the Second Amendment. he was dealing weapons to not so nice people, not even people I would deal with, by the way. And I thought, Paul Whelan, great American, great strong guy, very tough, not a solid trade. We would need more from. I actually said to Putin, I said, Vlad, if we give you Victor Boot, I'm going to need Paul Whelan and three, no less than three, top tier Russian prostitutes. And he said two. And I said, I got two hands and a strong penis. I need one Russian prostitute for each thing I'm going to use on them. How about that? And he said, no deal. And I said, okay, well, you obviously didn't read out of the deal. We didn't translate it into Russian yet. So we said, no deal. We said, no deal. And Sleepy Joe, who's too busy drinking warm milk, going to bed at 7 p.m. with fake Dr. Joe Biden, he wouldn't know how to make a deal. So he said, oh, you want to give us a tall WNBA fella, Jack? Fine, let's do that, Jack. Come on, man. And Putin laughed. Putin laughed, and he got his arms dealer, and we basically got like a taller Pete Davidson back.
Now, do you think people are saying this? The reason why he made this trade is to secure African American votes for 2024.
Well, I think he's afraid the progress we're making with African American men. We're making most of the progress with men. And I don't think the three African American men I know aren't big fans of tall lesbians. So I don't know that Sleepy Joe knows what he's doing. I don't think he's going to gain any votes from this. I mean, maybe that's what he thought. Maybe that's what fake Dr. Joe Biden told him he could do. But no, he doesn't have a clue. He probably thinks he got corn pop out of Russia.
So you never would have made this trade if you were president, acting president in the White House.
If they wanted to give me Brittney Griner for Victor Boot, I would have said, sure. We'll give you Victor Boot. You give us Brittney Griner and 42 high quality Russian prostitutes.
Do you think you could have gotten a package of the Marine and Griner for Boot, a 2-for-1 deal? You think you could have swung that? You were going to get Boot. I think you could have negotiated for a Griner on the side.
I think we probably would have to given up probably somebody that Putin wants to kill. He would have said, we need Hillary Clinton also. And I would have said, deal. I would have said deal so fast his head would spin. But no, we have a horrible negotiator. We have a terrible negotiator running our country into the ground. And it's a disgusting, sad, sleepy scenario.
It is sad. Trade's kind of wacky, and I feel like it came out of nowhere. People were talking about it. I don't think that was going to happen. The thing is, us getting a female basketball player back for someone who gives weapons to people who don't like us, I don't know. I feel the only reason he made that trade was for political points. I don't think it's not even as far as protecting our country.
No, what he probably thought was, hey, Jack, I can get political points because Brandon Grinder is gonna score points. Jack, come on, man. God love him. That's Sleepy Joe. That's what he says. So we're not dealing with somebody who's all there. In fact, he's barely there. And it's sad. And I'm sure Sleepy Joe got an extra applesauce at dinner after this deal. They probably said, good job, Grandpa President. Here's an extra applesauce you can have while you watch Wheel of Fortune and ruin our country.
Grandpa president. I like that one. So you would have been very dismissive of Putin if he even brought this trade up to you.
I've given you very strictly the terms that I would require from Vlad.
Right. Had be 42 prostitutes plus Brittney Griner. I get it.
Exactly. Or for a white man, only 3 prostitutes, and he was only willing to give me 2, and you don't back down. You don't. I don't accept that. It's a total disgrace.
And that's from The Art of the Deal.
Who?
The Art of the Deal. You mentioned that before. Is that
Oh, that's my book.
right? I'm saying that you take a page out of the playbook for that.
No, I never take pages. You don't destroy a book. I leave the pages all in there.
No, I know it's an expression meaning like, did you use a strategy from your own book? Is my question.
Well, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Maybe one of the other strategies is not to tell tech stuff people what strategies you use. How about that?
Like, it could be one of the strategies not to tell your strategies. I'll have to buy the book to find out.
Well, there you go. Now we're talking.
There you go. So the holidays right around the corner, guys. Art of the Deal. Find out the secret here. If you tell your strategies or keep your strategies a secret, or you're going to tell your strategies, but don't tell your strategies.
It's actually, I'll give you a free preview. It's called Keep Your Strategies Close and Your Strategies Closer.
I like that. What chapter is that?
Well, if I told you, you might know my strategies.
Right. Keep them close. I got it.
Maybe even closer.
Mr. President, I wanted to ask you about the judge dismissing the Mar-a-Lago document seizures, and they dismissed your motive. I think it was. I don't know what would you call it. Wasn't a motive, but an argument. It was dismissed.
Well, we had a special counsel because it was a special case, and the radical left. I think it might be in the 11th Circuit. I forget what circuit. They're all trying to destroy our country. These circuit courts, but they said we don't need a special master. A special master. They want us to walk out there with regular masters, and that's a disgrace. So the Mountain Dew Army right now is standing back and standing by, because they're seeing what's happening. They're stealing elections. They're destroying our court system, all because they don't want the greatest president we've ever had. That's all. That's all it is. A great president offends a very small, powerful group of people in this country, and they want to stop the will of the American people. So they shut down the special master, which is why Sidney Powell right now is at a pickleball court arguing. She's arguing right now for a master of the universe to be appointed. And we're looking at He-Man, which Mike Pence, you bet he's jealous he's not part of the administration anymore. But we're looking at and we're also looking at possibly a Thundercat. If a master of the universe can't be appointed, they might actually appoint a Thundercat. How about that? They're not seeing that. I mean, Sidney Powell, she is one of our great legal thinkers. I get emotional thinking about her great legal mind. But no, she said, sir, she has kind of she sounds like an older big huck, but not as loyal, but very strong. Sir, we're going to get them to appoint a master of the universe. I said, okay, well, let's get He-Man in there right away. And she said, but if they reject that, I've already got a Thundercat argument. And she actually said she was going to go with Panthro. Do you know this? You ever see the Thundercats? That's the sort of, he's blue.
Not Lion-O?
No, because Lion-O has like red hair and he's very tall and sort of lighter skin color. So they'll think he's maybe MAGA white. But Panthro was clearly a Democrat and an African American, because he was so Democrat they covered him blue, even though he was clearly a black. So Sidney Powell is going to sort of play chess on all these people, possibly even go fish with the courts when she says, I want a Thundercat appointed. We're going right past Master, Special Master, and Master of the Universe. And I want a Thundercat, I want Panthera. Because the left will go, oh, look, he's a black African, blue American. And they won't even know what's hit them. He's going to nunchuck them like they never believed.
So, Mr. President, the judge has dismissed this, and now rumors are swelling that they're trying to move ahead on a criminal probe and try to bring up criminal charges against you for these documents. What are your thoughts on this?
I don't let Mike Pence hear about any probes. That I can tell you. You should have seen when Mike Pence would watch Survivor and hear Jeff Probst. He got so excited, and I said, "No, Mike, different name, spelled differently." No, what they want to do is they. I don't even know what to say at this point. Tech stuff. They are so desperate. How many times have they gone after me?
Countless.
Countless. It's so many I can't even count. Some might even call that countless. And they walk around, and you have Merrick Garland, and they're probably in Merrick Garland and Sleepy Joe Biden's wills. It probably leaves, and when I die 30 years after not prosecuting Trump, I leave all my fake prosecutions to my son, Judy Garland, and Hunter Biden, if he's not too busy doing crack and having sex with filthy strippers, which I do respect. I do respect that part. Please let them continue the prosecution until the country is totally destroyed. Thank you. And now I'm dead. So it's sad. I think it's sad. I think it's a disgrace. And I'm going to fight. I have Sidney Powell. I have other great lawyers like Jenna Ellis, who's very cute. But we're not worried. We're just sad. Not in a weak way, but we're sad for the country. I'm angry.
Right.
But I'm sad for America, which was a great country until the radical left went totally nuts.
Well,
and you don't even seem to be bothered by it. So sad.
Well,
I did see there was one person in your home who seemed angry about it. It was once again doing a January 6th on the tech stuff guy. So we respect that. You need to fight. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You need to fight like your son fights. That's a patriot. In fact, I'm about to name him Tech Stuff Kid for the next episode.
Now, you're talking about the left, Mr. President. I've been reading lots of articles that the GOP is not very Trump friendly right now. They're trying to kind of have not put all their eggs in one basket. Not a lot of people are backing you financially, verbally. People are kind of all over the place, but they're not having your back specifically. And we all know that's going to change once you start winning and going to all these rallies and getting all the attention you deserve again. People are going to jump back on the bandwagon. But what are your thoughts right now where people are keeping their distance from you? Will you treat them differently once everything works itself out?
There will be some people who will allow back in. I understand it's politics, but some people have gone so disloyal. Fat Chris Christie comes to mind, where they sort of start to enjoy feeling very tough, feeling, oh, I think Trump's done, so I'm going to talk like a big boy now. These people will be publicly executed on January. Remember, we have to find a new. You know who's the new evangelical gimp? Remember, we had Mike Pence.
Yes.
Mike Lindell. We have officially passed.
Sworn him in.
The gimp mask was taken from Mike Pence very strongly, and in a powerful ceremony, Mike Lindell has been named the new evangelical gimp, and he has already said that he will happily and gladly violate and then murder Chris Christie at the U.S. Capitol during my inauguration. And he will do the same to many other people, because when Mike Lindell, he's a very passionate man, and he has a lot of crack. When he's high on crack, that guy can go. I mean, you'd think he was doing adult films. The guy can last all day long. When he's powered by crack, it's like the crack goes right to his mustache and his cock, and he just goes to town. And Mike Pence, at a time we respected him, we don't anymore. But Mike Lindell, I think the Democrats will be wishing Mike Pence was still the evangelical gimp, because Mike Lindell does not play games.
No
And it's gonna
mercy
be
with that man.
It's going to be a very nasty, nasty inauguration when he is dominating all the disloyal Republicans. So there's a grace period. People can come back, and I think they will. That's why I chose the Republican Party tech stuff, because I know that these are opportunistic people. So as soon as they see they're losing, oh, sir, I'm a big fan, sir, only you can save the country, sir. And I like that. I like to see these weak people grovel. So I'll let some of them grovel back. But some of these people, they will not be free. Ron DeSantis, no mercy. No mercy. Chris Christie, no mercy. Not even close. Not even close to mercy. Like, we're actually going to have John Stamos murdered as well, simply because he said mercy too much on Full House. That's how powerfully we're against mercy for these people.
Now, like I said before, Mr. President, people are distancing themselves from you. And there's one person getting a lot of buzz. When we talked about this on the bonus episode, he was listed, I think, at number 8 or 9 candidate. But a lot of people are talking about him. Tim Scott getting lots of presidential buzz. What are your thoughts on this? You think this is a smoke screen, just trying to make the guy feel good for a couple of weeks? What's going on here?
Smoke screen almost sounds like a very new racist term for a black. I like that. We got Tim Smokescreen Scott. You're a real smokescreen, Tim. Well, here's the thing. I normally don't trust people with 2 first names, because they can do voter fraud. You know, you walk in and you go, hello, I'm Tim Scott, right this way. And then you come in later that afternoon, you see the list is alphabetical by last name, and you go, hello, I'm Scott Tim. And they go, right this way, Scott Tim. Vote twice. But what I like about Tim Scott,
You like him as a guy?
he's a little too square for me. He's like corny. He's sort of a Carlton. Okay. And I respect the fact that he bends over backwards not to make the Republicans seem racist. Okay. He's very, I believe in America, and we're not racist here. And yet, when he talks about being pulled over by the cops so much, I kind of want him to fight back. I don't respect the weakness. So he's always been nice to me. He's always been respectful. Okay. He always said sir when he was addressing me. And, he wasn't as sort of obedient as Herschel Walker. Okay. The gold standard for blacks. But Tim Scott is a good guy. But he doesn't have the talent, and he doesn't have the toughness to go up against me. I don't want to say anything that the fake news will take out of context, but let's just say Tim Scott, it's not going to be nice if he goes up against me. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
We'll be PC this one time, but it will not be nice. That I can tell you. Okay. Normally I don't like to burn crosses, because I'm a very strong Christian that's never been to church. But I told Tim, we might have to make an exception if you don't back me. And it's not racist, what I'm saying. I don't mean it in a racist way. I mean it in a burning cross kind of way, with no racism.
Now, Mr. President, we have a few more stories to go, but we do have another sponsor this week.
Well, of course we do. You always sound
Yes.
surprised. You always say, we have a great show with the greatest president of all time. And you always say, oh, by the way, we have another. Of course we do. Of course.
Okay.
Continue.
Making Podcasts Great Again is brought to you by Rocket Money. This is literally the best app that I have found in years. Okay. We went over this last week, but Mr. President, I subscribe to so many different services and subscriptions and apps and channels. I lose track. And I signed up for Rocket Money. And let me just tell you, I was subscribing something that was cost me $120 a month. A year, I'm sorry. And I didn't even realize that I had it. And I got reimbursed for that one. So now I have extra money for Christmas and Hanukkah shopping and holiday shopping, whatever you celebrate. So you have to right now sign up for Rocket Money because they keep track of all your subscriptions that you have and you can cancel at any time. Okay. The app shows all your subscriptions in one place and then it cancels for you whenever you don't want them anymore. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions you didn't even know you were paying for. Like I said before, I didn't even know I was paying for the subscription, and Rocket Money found it. You may even find out you've been double charged for a subscription. Sometimes you sign up on one credit card, you forget you signed up for it, sign up on another credit card, and you're paying for the same thing twice. Rocket Money will take care of that. To cancel subscription, all you have to do is press cancel, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. It is so easy, stress-free, and you don't have to be a tech guru to figure it out. So
it's the one time we're pro cancel culture because they make it so easy.
That's right. Get rid of useless subscriptions with Rocket Money now. Go to rocketmoney.com/MPGA. Seriously, it could save you hundreds per year. It saved me hundreds of dollars per year. It can do the same thing for you. That's rocketmoney.com/MPGA. Cancel your unnecessary subscriptions right now. Right now, it's the holiday times. You need that extra money. Get Rocket Money, and they will hook you up with that extra money because I'm sure you're subscribing to some stuff that you don't want anymore. Again, rocketmoney.com/MPGA. Rocket Money. Check it out now. You have to do it. Help me out. It's going to help you out also.
I couldn't agree more. For so many years, I was getting charged. Once I got melatonin, I wanted to be done with the Horror of the Month Club. And horrors kept arriving every month for years until
and Rocket Money.
I got that cancel and I said, no, thank you. Get the hell out of here, Horror of the Month Club.
So, see that? Mr. President had a Horror of the Month Club subscription. Totally forgot about it. And Rocket Money took care of the rest.
Because why would I want to be double billed when I'm already a member of Horror of the Week?
No one wants Horror of the Month Club when you have Horror of the Week Club.
And that's what we're saying, useless subscriptions. But there are, not that we need to give them an extra long read, but I got to say, this really is. I mean, people, they hear this and they go, that's a good idea. And then they move on, right? They say, oh, that's a good, that sounds like a good idea. And then they don't do it. But the reason it's a good idea is because you might be the person that actually will benefit from it. You probably will be the person because we all have with the streaming, with the magazines, with the, oh, I signed up for a trial of this fake newspaper or this, and all of a sudden you realize you got like 40 different things out there and you never even realized it. So no, it's Christmas time. People should go to say the name again.
It's rocketmoney.com/MPGA.
Do it, people.
That's right.
And it's, if you're not going to spend money on a friend or a loved one or yourself this holiday season, then maybe you should be like, It's a Wonderful Life. Just jump off the bridge. No, well, maybe we don't want to get sued.
We're going dark here.
We don't want to get sued, but you know what I was going to say.
Yes. Now, Mr. President, we have a few more stories left and some big announcements also for the podcast. Kari Lake, she's trying to be like you, and now she's suing the Maricopa courts in Arizona to overturn the election results. She's suing the election officials over there. I mean, if that's not a page stolen right from your playbook, I don't know what is. She's a huge fan of yours, following everything you do now. She will not take this loss laying down, and she is now suing to overturn the decision. What are your thoughts on her now?
I was just truthing her a dick pic. The she's she's tough. This is what America wants fighters, and Kari Lake is a fighter of the top. I'm going to spoil something right now. We're going to talk about the Epies very briefly, but
Okay.
there is a showdown coming. Okay. And I mean that in my pants because last year we had many nominees for potential Trump fourth wife. This year, I can tell the people right now, there's two. There's only two women attractive enough, tough enough, sexy enough, and willing to do butt stuff with me that would qualify. And that's, of course, cutie Lauren Boebert and sexy Kari Lake. And I say that, I give that little teaser about the Epies because that's the caliber of person Kari Lake is. And she's married, by the way. They're both married. That's how you know they're ride or die. But Kari Lake is following the Trump playbook, but not in a copycat way,
Mm,
like Rhonda Suckass does. He's
right.
a copycat. He's an under. She's doing it with respect, like I'm a sensei, like I'm her sensei, and she comes in wearing no underwear and heels and says, "Sensei Trump, what do I do?" And I say, "Ooh, sue the election." And then she sues the election. And then I say, call them fake news. And she calls them fake news. And it's a beautiful thing. It's called mentorship, it's called mentoring. And she is a great student, a great person, a great American, and very tough. And I support all that she's doing out there because she's right. They stole an election from me. And I feel like that's her loyalty. She's not just trying to get the election back for her, which she won, by the way, but she's also doing it almost like to avenge me. Isn't that what a
Hmm.
great student does for their sensei? Sleepy Joe stole from our sensei and we must avenge his honor. And we're going to do it with strong lawsuits and strong extramarital sex.
Strong loyalty right there.
Loyalty is good too, but the strong extramarital sex is even better.
Of course. Now, speaking of lost elections, the runoff happened last week, and Herschel Walker came up short, came up a yard short, and he lost the election. Have you spoken to him? What did he say? What was the conversation like? Is there
It
room for
was,
him in the Trump organization for 2024?
and that's a great question. We've already given him a tuxedo, and he is currently serving drinks uh, and cleaning the toilets at Mar-a-Lago. I promised him he'd have a job no matter what. So he said, "Thank you, boss." And I said, "Don't look me in the eye." And he said, "Sorry, boss." And he was very emotional after because he hadn't even realized he was running for Senate. It was such a shock to him when we said, "Herschel, you lost the election." He goes, "No, I'm hard right now." And I said, "No, the election." He goes, "What election?" And I said, "For Senate, for George." And he goes, "George?" And I said, "Oh, Georgia." And he said, "Georgia? I didn't tell her to have an abortion." And I said, "No, but you lost the Senate race." And then he said, "I've never lost a race in my life." And he got very sad because he thought he'd finally gotten slow physically. He's very slow mentally. And he was very emotional and very upset. And he was crying. And I paid a worker to hug him and console him. And we brought him back. That night, of course, he wasn't allowed to eat at the main table. He had to eat in the kitchen. He wasn't allowed out with all the proper guests. Yeah, because there has to be a penalty. There has to be a penalty, and I made him. He had to use a separate entrance and exit to Mar-a-Lago because he didn't win. We have a winner. We segregate on winners and losers at
Right.
Mar-a-Lago. We don't segregate. It's not race, not
No.
race. It's winners and losers. So he has to go through the separate door with all the other losers, and he's not allowed in the main table, and he's not even allowed to use the same bathroom as us. He has to use
Wow.
the losers' bathroom. So, but on Sundays he's allowed to. He can go to church, and he can He doesn't have to work doing landscaping at Mar-a-Lago. So on Sundays, we give him a break. But other than that, he's doing very well.
That's awesome. Very, very nice. Loyalty once again. Mr. President, we have a few more news stories, but I want to let the listeners know December 29th, a very special night for making podcasts great again. It will be
Tech stuff. I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm going to cut you off. Here's the thing.
what?
We sell it too short. We say, oh, it's a very special night. It is the single greatest night of the year in podcasting. Full stop.
The single greatest night in podcasting history will be on December 29th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. It is the Epies. That's right. And your only way to the Epies is Patreon, patreon.com/MPGA. Any Patreon Patriot can vote for the Epies. You can nominate people for the Epies, your favorite moment, special guests, episodes. But the only people in attendance are our perfect 10 Patreon Patriots. We had a bunch of perfect 10s rolling this week. If you're going to upgrade for a month and you're going to binge some content, do it for this month right now, because you get to go to the Epies. It is African-American attire. Okay. So you'll get to go to the Epies.
We got a tech stuff guy who did his homework. Thank
That's
you.
right.
Finally.
And also right now on the Patreon page, you can nominate your favorite episode, nominate your favorite guest, your favorite moments, anything on the podcast from this past year that sticks out in your mind as something that was really funny or special to you.
Exactly.
You can share it in the comment section on the Patreon right now, because the voting will start most likely next week, and it's only on Patreon. The voting will happen. Again, it's December 29th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, the Epies, patreon.com/MPGA to sign up. Again, perfect 10 Patreon Patriots. You have full access. Everyone else, you can vote as a Patreon Patriot. You do not want to miss out on this. Now, Mr. President, couple of news stories left. I want to talk to you. You have a book coming out, and it's a book of letters with celebrities and international icons. Elton John will be featured in it, Michael Jackson, Howard Stern. I want to know, you've bragged about these letters. Will Kim Jong-un's letters be featured in this book?
I can say that many of those letters are private, but that one of the letters might actually make it in. And that's all I'll say. Pre-order the book now. And can we go off the podcast record?
We are off right now.
None of those letters are going to be in the book. Are you fucking kidding me? But let these people buy the book. I'll say it might be in there. In fact, I think a letter will be there, but you got to pre-order you got to pre-order and purchase the book now, and you'll be the first to know. And then these stupid, illiterate Mountain Dew sons of bitches will open it and go, "Where's the letter?" And I go, "Oh, yeah, I guess you don't speak Korean. I didn't translate for you. It's right in there." And I'll stick a Korean barbecue menu in the back of each book. And they go, "Oh, great. Oh, so great, sir. Sir, thank you so much, sir." Okay, back on the podcast record.
We're back on.
No, so there will be at least, it's a mystery, but I think there might be one letter in the book from the great Kim Jong-un.
Wow, that's very special. So pick up that book when I'm sure it's going to be a New York Times bestseller, even though you don't care for that.
It's actually already a Truth Social bestseller. So
that's what I figured.
A lot more important.
Mr. President, two more news stories left. There's a COVID advisory in New York City. The weather is getting colder now. Wintertime is here. Flu season, cold season, and of course, COVID season. A COVID advisory in New York City. What are your thoughts on this? Do we just live with COVID and forget these advisories, or really warn people, because COVID is still very dangerous?
What's the next story? Tech stuff, because I don't address COVID. We defeated COVID thanks to the Trump vaccine.
Okay.
Warp speed.
Right.
Anything else, it shouldn't be called COVID. It should be called Jovid, for Joe Biden COVID, because we defeated the COVID that showed up under Trump. So that COVID is dead. Anything else that might hit the country is called Jovid, and I don't address Jovid.
So Jovid is not addressed. Okay. No Jovid here. All right. So, Mr. President, the last news story I want to talk to you about is the Army-Navy football game. I'm a huge football fan. You were in the booth for the Army and Navy game. How was that experience?
It was great. It was great, and I think Uber Eats just arrived for me. So I want to give you a very strong summary of this game. Nobody loves the military more than me. I was so proud to be there watching Army and Navy, the Army versus the seamen. Who's going to win? And they asked me to do play-by-play, and when one of the guys on the Navy tackled somebody on Army, and I said, "Oh, that's seaman. That's a money shot. That's a seaman right on top of the Army guy." And they said, "Sir, you can't say money shot." I go, it's a joke. It's seaman. And then a guy hit him helmet to helmet. A seaman hit the Army guy helmet, and I said, "That's a facial. That is a facial." But we respect our Army and Navy so strong. So our great military, our great armed services, and they weren't so great at football. If they
Well,
were good at football,
you did say that. You did say that the competition of these games isn't as highly competitive as other college football games. Why is it necessary to take a dig at our armed forces, regardless if it's true or not?
no, I didn't. Okay, I didn't take a dig. I
What
was
would you
just.
call it?
It was called a truth, and it was social. So I was doing a truth social, and it's a fact. And I, by the way, one of us used to be and still is commander in chief, and one isn't. So I can really talk about Army and Navy people however I want. And what I will say about Army and Navy is they're not the best football players. If they were good at football, they wouldn't be at Army and Navy. They'd be at Alabama with Nick Saban and USC with whoever the hell coaches USC, or some school where they actually win football games. And if they were so smart, these aren't the smartest people that are in our military, and nobody loves our military more than me. But they'd be going to schools like Stanford and maybe Ivy League. They wouldn't be going to Army. These are some of our best people, even though they're not good athletes and they're generally sort of stupid. But I love our military more than anybody. Excuse me, more than anybody, more than you. I love the military more than these military people's families love them, or else they would have educated them better and made them better athletes and sent them to better schools. So they don't love their kids as much as I do. I love our troops more than anybody. I love our troops so much. If they were my kids, I wouldn't let them go in the Army to die like suckers, or in the Navy to drown like a bunch of gay village people in a submarine in a penis-shaped boat underwater. I would respect them and say, "You're not doing that. You're going to go into business because I love you." So I love our troops more than anybody, just because they suck at football, are low IQ, not loved by their parents, and willing to die in stupid wars for our country. They are our best. And when people try to say what I said during that game as some sort of insult, no, not insulting at all. I respect the troops and love the troops more than anybody, more than you, more than anybody.
All right. Mr. President, thank you so much for your time, and for our listeners, head over to Rocket Money right now, rocketmoney.com/MPGA. Sign up, cancel those subscriptions, and save some money for the holiday season. And also join the Patreon, patreon.com/MPGA. On December 29th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time will be the night of all nights for any podcasting event. It is the Epies, and on the Patreon right now, you can nominate your favorite episode, favorite guest, moment, favorite, whatever you want, favorite joke on the podcast, whatever it is, anything that sticks out to you as memorable, you can list that and nominate that for the Epies, and the voting will start next week. For everyone else, I've tweeted this out. I have a show called Goody. It is about suicide prevention and mental health. It is SAVE certified. So Suicide Awareness Voices of Education has certified it. I am touring around in 2023 corporate for colleges, high schools. So if you would like to bring this program to your school, hit me up on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, wherever you want to reach me is totally cool for me. That's right. And the show is Goody, and you can see the link to the show on my Twitter account. And Mr. President, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, everybody. Hello, our great people. We love our troops. Hey guys, it's JL. A bunch of stuff going. Obviously, I got my my side Patreon, my other podcast. So if you got free time over vacation, free money to join up after you're done supporting this fine podcast, throw a couple extra holiday bucks and hours of listening to my other stuff. Live shows, if you're still listening, Mamaroneck this Saturday for all my wealthy friends from the New York area who moved north of the city. Emmeline Theater, if that's how it's pronounced, but I'm there with Al Lubell, very funny guy.
Hilarious.
The 17th. Yeah, hilarious. The 17th, this Saturday. After that, we got the Brokerage in Long Island with featuring tech stuff guy. So it's really like maybe the first official, it's like a one date tour with with everybody from this podcast in Long Island, January 6th and 7th, January 19th. Pittsburgh Improv. I'm still working on other gigs around that. And then February 7th, Chicago City Winery. And then March 3rd, Boston City Winery. So lots of stuff still coming out. Half Blackface, my special. It'll be out in 2023. That's really the only thing I know. Could be January, could be December, but it's a real fucking nightmare. So I've never meant this more than I mean it now. God help us all.